Hey guys, Caleb Harrelson here with Engage Apologetics. I want to let you know about our upcoming student apologetic summer camp called the Engage Truth Summer Camp this summer at Aspendale Mountain Retreat Center. It's so important that the next generation has a biblical worldview. They can think biblically about all topics, about all strands of knowledge. Yet what we see in the stats are only 4% of those in Gen Z have a biblical worldview. 61% of millennials consider themselves Christian, but only 2% have a Christian worldview. Nearly half of practicing Christian millennials believe evangelism is wrong, and about 50 to 75% are disengaging from the church after they graduate. Yet we should understand this scripture commands all believers to have an answer, to give a reason for the hope they have, yet do this with gentleness and respect. However, we see things even striking at times that around 90% of those questioning their faith lose their faith even before college. We believe that there is hope and that we can continue to persevere and press on and work together with churches. And that's why we are working to build the Engage Truth Student Summer Camp to really equip students and parents and adults to really have an intensive week of students diving into what it means to have a biblical worldview and how to communicate that with truth and with love. In fact, what we see in the early churches, that's exactly what they did, is they trained for months the early converts in biblical apologetics, theology, before many of them were even baptized. And so this is not unprecedented for people to do this. So our Engage Truth Student Summer Camp will be a classical Christian apologetics camp. And what that means, in short, is that it is built upon the model of the trivium. The trivium being the three levels that we believe are natural to learning at various ages of development. And so we have the first stage, the grammar stage, the second, the logic stage, and the third, the rhetoric stage. So the grammar stage tends to primarily be the younger ages, and it's a lot of memory and learning the grammar, the tools of learning. And then the logic stage is the why, and that's like middle school, early high school, learning how to process and think through things and asking questions. And the rhetoric stage is the how-to, the communicating stage. And so how are we going to use that in camp? Well, this is, as I said, is the historic Christian approach that was also used by the Greeks. But a classical Christian model for a summer camp focused on biblical worldview training is going to be grounded in each of the students that attend the camp are going to be in one of these levels of the trivium. Of course, the older levels still come back around to the grammar stage at times as well, as we have things worked into our curriculum where we have a lot of memorization and catechism. Of course, from a Protestant catechism, a Protestant apologetics camp, we're going to have the catechism questions. That's really, it's just oral teaching of question and answer, where we could have a question on how do we know that Jesus rose from the dead, and we'll have a scripture answer, and we'll have another reason, give us reasons that Jesus rose from the dead, and then we'll have an apologetic answer on the case for the eyewitness testimony of scripture and the early testimony of scripture, and so on and so forth. So we will have apologetic catechisms and theological catechisms for our summer camp. And the particular theme this year is going to be focused on the reliability of the Gospels, using, of course, the four Gospels and Cold Case Christianity by J. Warner Wallace. And each of the students at the various levels, ages 9 through 18, will be using that in our core classes, Cold Case Christianity, and the younger ones, primarily in the grammar stage, will be using some of the activities in Cold Case Christianity for kids, and they get to do some of those fun activities there. And another part of the classical model is they get to do Socratic dialogue, asking questions and searching deeper for things and being able to role play someone being in a different position and perspective. And so students will get to further revisit what they learned earlier and get to role play with a staff member who's pretending to be an atheist or represent another worldview. And students will get an opportunity to do the Socratic dialogue. And if you want to learn more about the Socratic dialogue, check the link out in the info section below the video. And you can also learn more about the trivium in the camp website and some of the links I have linked below in there. So the Socratic dialogue, or really it's how Jesus taught people a lot, but he would make a point through asking questions. And that's why our staff members also have to read Tactics, because Columbo questions and questions like that are so important that our staff members would know how to navigate those conversations when the students have the Socratic dialogue, so our engaging conversations. And the older students in the older levels of the Trivium will get to participate, maybe going to interact with people in the city nearby, the camp on Cloudcroft, that have different worldviews, and they'll get to participate and engage with that and then process that as well as part of the camp. And another part of the classical model, the older students may have an opportunity to present some of what they learned on the case for the resurrection, the reliability of the Gospels, and perhaps even some have a debate at the older levels as well. And students will also have an opportunity to choose a special topics in apologetics class in the afternoon, where they can dive into comparative worldviews, the problem of evil, the reliability of the Bible, biblical archaeology, and many other topics that they can find when we have registration open on the website. And of course, we'll have many exciting activities for students to do. They have the ropes course, they have the archery, paintball, many exciting team building activities they'll get to do and participate in camp. Lord willing, the climbing wall and zip line will be done at Asphodel this summer. So I'm really excited about students to be able to participate in this camp, and also about our staff. Now, we have people watching this who may not live near El Paso or southern New Mexico area, but we would love for you to participate if this is something you're passionate about. This student apologetics camp we're starting, the Engaged Truth student camp. If you'd like to come as a nurse or a counselor, we really need people of all these positions. We are working with youth pastors to help make this camp happen. This is a new venture, and as I'm making this video, we are working to transition our ministry to a nonprofit so we can do more camps like this and streamline a lot of the process. So if you're interested, of course, there's training for our staff members. You can find out about that on the website. And of course, you may see some other videos and announcements soon about fundraising. We want to make it possible for all our staff and students that want to come and be a part of this camp to be a part of it. We're going to have a lot of exciting things. We're hoping to raise the funds to have telescopes and microscopes so students can look at dinosaur soft tissue at our summer camp. We want to have a very unique summer camp. We just want to offer this unique experience at this camp where students can engage with God's world and see how science confirms his word, and this year particularly have a clear understanding of the reliability of the Gospels and have a blast while building relationships at the same time. So I really hope you guys will consider bringing your students to this camp or coming and helping out at the camp as well. And so I'm so excited to see what God will do during the Engaged Truth Student Apologetics Summer Camp at Asphodel in 2023.